Dude, I'm testing the go slow out.
Welcome to episode 13. Unlucky for some. Episode 13. Is that the intro? Again. That seems like a wet fart. That was a wet fart, wasn't it? Welcome to episode 13 of The Ride Companion. My name's Olly Wilkins.
Hi, I'm Davi. I hate saying my last name, so I'm just going to say Davi. I'm a little bit like Madonna, Cher.
Can you say it? Can you say it, though? Just this
Burks.
once.
I don't like Davi, but I don't have a problem with it, but it just doesn't... Do you not find that certain names flow really nice?
Yeah, you'd
like
rather
Olly
be...
Wilkins. I'm just Davi, and it's like, there's a... I don't know if it's just... Stavros, David Stavros.
Yeah. Stuart Stavros, that would be your ideal, right?
Yeah, it would indeed. Yeah, it would. It would indeed.
Good, dude.
Certain names do flow, though.
I like it. You got strong. If you were a pop star, you would be one of those people that are just known as Prince, and you would like police that image. You'd be
I think
on
so.
it.
That's what I go with. I just go with like the single Davey. People know.
I went to a Hans Ray talk. You've got to say
way.
You've got to say no way at this point.
No
I went
way.
to a Hans Ray talk a while ago.
No way!
Yeah. And that was my one takeaway. Like his kind of approach to it. He really took into consideration like his like image, which I thought was really cool because he is still just like an action figure of himself, isn't he? Like exactly what colours, what bike he's going to be running, what he looks like.
Consistent for how many years? 20 plus, 25, 30 years?
So I think you'd be like Hans Ray. You'd have like a look, a name. It'd just be one word.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you. I don't know what the look would be, though. At the moment, it's just sort of like badly shaven, like bit weathered, sort of tired, sort of
I'd go with that look as well, dude. Yeah, I think it's not a bad one to go with. It's just I can consistently keep it up. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't take much effort, does it?
It makes you think though. Like if you were one of these Kim Kardashian motherfuckers, like it'd be a lot of work, wouldn't it? You couldn't even leave the house without fucking pasting.
Well, I don't know.
On
Kim
all that
can.
stuff.
She can just wear an all-in-one, can't she? And just go to like the what was she when she had that all-in-one suit on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it doesn't cover her face, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, smart move then. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know it was at the not the Emmys, not the VMAs, the
Met
Gala.
The Emmys in a Zorb. You know, you get away with it then, couldn't you? It'd be like lipstick smears all on the edge. It must be really exhausting though, huh? It must be.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, no doubt they have a team of people. There's no team of people behind my look. I don't know about yours, but
no, there's no team of people. Pilg's good actually because he's actually super famous and he always looks. I guess that's what's good about those energy drink helmets. It's like. That's do you know what I mean? You're instantly recognisable.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
that is true,
isn't it? Yeah,
that is true. Actually, yeah.
Maybe we should get podcast uniforms.
We could do that.
Couple of suits.
Yeah, a couple of suits. Like a. Do you think a suit? Would we go with? Yeah, maybe go with a suit. Make it super professional.
News. Yeah, we'd start doing more news, biking news.
It's probably what we do miss most of the time, so it might inspire us to actually do it.
On that note, in this week's biking news, Brage, a previous guest on the podcast, released his extended cut of his Real MTB edit. And did you watch it? And that's my watching for the week example.
I love that you brought that up. It's still open here above our recording studio as a tab because I'm like, I'll get to that. And I thought Ollie won't bring it up. It only came out this morning.
And
no, he did.
There. We're on the pulse, dude. We're on the pulse. Well, it's good because I've watched it and I can. So you watch that like X Games edit and you think, how long was it? A minute, 2 minutes, something like that? 3 minutes?
90 seconds, I think.
Was it? Yeah, 90 seconds. So a minute and a half of action, and I guess you could picture that some work went in, but until you watch this, you can't picture the amount of work.
Wow,
that goes
that's
in.
Really cool that they've done that.
Yeah,
I know,
really good.
And what I also like is they've left it so long for it to come out.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's really polished. It's really good.
Is it? I think obviously a lot of it, probably editing time and stuff like that. But I like that it's however many months after. What? It must be 5 months.
Yeah,
6 months after. I like that.
I think stuff can be swallowed up. I often think that with the internet, like I don't know. Sometimes it's good to you can keep stuff back and it doesn't matter. It's good.
Yes.
That would have been just swallowed up and you might not have seen, you might not have got as many...
Yeah, if they'd have released that like 2 weeks after, you'd have been like, yeah, whatever, I'm like a little bit over the X Games thing or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that they've delayed that. I know we spoke about that a little bit with your job sometimes, having to go and do shoots that don't come out for 6 months, a year, or
yeah.
did the Bosch stuff ever come out? I don't think we ever spoke about that. Like, you went and did it, and we never actually spoke about it.
It did. It was a Pinkbike story, actually.
Oh, was it?
I don't think the edit hasn't, though. But
yeah,
it's a prime example, because by the time it does come out, it's not, like, for me, it's not new. So I wouldn't have brought it up on this podcast, for instance. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have, like, I don't know. But yeah, it is hard, because I've done a load of videos and they're not out yet. And it's almost like quite a nice surprise when they do come out once you've forgotten about them.
I'm like super impatient whenever I've done any sort of shoot or anything like that. It's like that evening I'm like, have you got any shots from today? Like, come on.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm on it at the minute, editing a video of my Lenzerheide experience.
Awesome. Will that be out by the time this is out?
I don't know. I'm waiting for like clips to be sent to me, because you use all of their GoPros, and you don't have any of your own clips other than Dadcam. So it's ready to go other than GoPro clips. That's the YouTube hustle, and I'm not much of a hustler, unfortunately. I'd love to be more on it, but it's been impossible over the last few weeks anyway. Been busy.
Yeah. Did you get much stuff out in Germany?
Yeah, we filmed non-stop. That's
awesome.
Exactly it. So like all you see is like tiny little bits of in between, really. Yeah, we filmed non-stop. Benny was out there. I'm yet to see any of those clips as well. They'll be cool. Actually, this is a good moment to speak about one of our guests on last week's show, on episode 12.
Yeah.
Mo, the athlete manager at Focus, big supporter of the podcast and all-round legend. The day after, we headed to some trails to film. Mo is a boss on a bike. So Mo drops in, rides the jumps blind. He's athlete manager. He doesn't need to, and he just is good enough to, which is so sick, I think.
Yeah.
Drops in, one bangs the whole line, which is super impressive. He's a killer rider. Yeah. And then few runs in, huge toboggan, over the bars. Mo is in the Broken Ribs Club.
Oh, man.
Yeah, gutted for him. I think he's in hospital now. He's having surgery on his shoulder, but healing vibes to Mosif. Get well soon. It was rubbish to see him go down. Everyone's all like hyped and Mo's riding and we're all riding together. Because you think we spend a lot of time, especially Mo's athlete manager, he speaks to all of us on like sometimes a daily basis. Yeah. So actually to have us all in one place is so it's so exciting. We're all hyped to be riding with Mo, and it was so annoying. It just put a real bummer on the session. So yeah, healing vibes to Mo.
Healing vibes to Mo. If anyone does have his IG, head over and give some props to him. We did tag him in the last couple of episodes, so if you do find it there, you get 10 extra brownie points from the Hook It Podcast Ride Companion collabs.
That's right, family.
And we'll give you a discount off the merch when we do it.
Yeah, the merch when we do it, yeah.
I've been working on some merch. I'll send it you after.
Oh, please, yes.
I've been working.
Look forward to it. How are your ribs, by the way? You seem back to normal now. I know you're not, but you seem on it more. I
am. As a percentage.
Yeah, what's the
percentage?
Say
like 80%, 82.3%.
Yeah.
82.3%. I'm just got these niggly things which just keep coming up. It's like when we spoke, so Friday, I've had it in my head for a while that I wanted to go and do a really long walk. Just go out for the day almost and just see what happens. So I finally got that ticked off. So I left the house at like 8:30, 9 a.m. or something. Didn't get back till 4:30. So I don't know how long that is. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hang on, Siri's trying to talk to me.
Long enough, huh?
Yeah, it's like a 7-8 hour walk. So I was out doing that, but then I've been in pain a little bit since. It's still not. It's just these like niggly bits that
So that's on your back, your ribs at the back, right?
And I still do struggle with getting out of breath. That's one of the reasons it took so long. It wasn't because I was walking the whole time. It's like whenever you go up a hill, I'm like out of breath. I can't get a deep breath in. But dude, I mean, I'm proud of myself in a weird kind of way because I haven't taken this lightly. Like recovery is like a full-time job. I mean, we went through the schedule last week. It's day in, day out, relentless, trying to get better. And I can't do anything more than I am. And I can't do anything less than I am. So it's like, I just stay in the groove. Not riding yet for a few reasons, to be honest. Like, number one is, the main one actually is I'm just waiting on some new helmets. So it's really random, but like that I smashed my helmet to pieces when I crashed. And although I do have a couple more, it's one of those situations where I've like lent them to people, and I just have like no normal helmets sat around. So I was like, oh, that's probably a sign from someone above. Like, just wait. There's no rush,
sure.
I'm not rushing to go out.
I mean, that's the biggest thing about injuries is that, like, ultimately, just time is the biggest, and it's the thing that you can't change. You have to just wait it out, and it's like, I know it's frustrating, but it's the same as when you go into hospital and you have to wait. There's a reason why they're not getting on it straight away. It's like, if it's not life threatening, you're just on a path, aren't you? Upwards. You're just in a really boring part of it. You have to wait.
And it's the same with the injury, man. It just takes what it takes, and that's just,
exactly. Yeah,
it is what it is. There's nothing that I can do about it other than do what I'm doing, which is everything I can do. So
well, it seems like you're on it,
takes.
Dude.
Yeah,
seems like you're on it.
I'm excited to get back out and ride, though, dude. I'll be honest, I am stoked, but I don't know. I just feel like there's no point just jumping into something, making yourself worse.
No.
Blah blah blah. So the
biggest thing that I've actually weirdly been most injuries I've been quite good at is just not jumping straight in where you left off. Like, you have to just like, and it's easy for me because I quite like doing cross country rides, but I do cross country rides for quite a long time afterwards, almost exclusively. Even if you release a couple of Insta clips of you doing whatever, most of the riding will just be sitting down and pedaling for hours and
just chilling. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I feel like that's exactly what I'm doing, just without the bike.
Yeah.
I'm just out walking, breathing fresh air, like just being out in nature and just doing what your body wants, like, which is that.
Absolutely,
it's a holistic view of it, but that's all you can do. So. But to be honest, man, I'm enjoying the process, and I knew I would. Like, I'm a big fan of health and fitness, although I might not look like it at the moment. I'm a big fan of lifting weights and doing that sort of stuff anyway. So anything that I can sink my teeth into, as you'll know, like any sort of project or anything like that.
A good challenge.
I'll sink my teeth into it, and it's like, right, I can come back fitter than I was before now. Like, if I really sink my teeth into this, and come back stronger and fitter than I was. So done a few open water swims as well, which have been quite nice. And just grinding, bro.
Nice.
Just grinding.
Not grinding bones, so that's good. There's no more movement. There's no more weird feeling. Excellent. How crazy is that? Gravy. Body is
scary.
Weird, eh? Just the fact that
really
they just rub up against each other like that until eventually the rubbing gets smaller, and then
done.
Fixed.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Crazy.
Amazing. Human body. Incredible.
It's a beautiful thing. So it's episode 13.
It is. Unlucky for some. Unlucky
for Mel.
Are you? Yeah, there you go. Are you weird about numbers, or are you? Because I've realised I'm a little bit superstitious about certain things. I'm a bit weird.
Same, I think.
Yeah. So you have that, yeah.
I'm like that with sort of TV volume in the radio, volume on your phone.
Just not 13, or just
not any odd number. Although my lucky number is 5, it makes no sense. But I stay away from the weird numbers, to be honest.
Yeah, Bernard's like that. Bernard doesn't like on the stereo when you turn it up to certain numbers.
Yeah,
which obviously
means
when
I
turn it up to certain numbers. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not superstitious about numbers. I don't mind 13. But did you know that hotels don't have 13th floor?
I did.
How crazy is that?
I did know that. Yeah, they don't have it on the lift, do they, and stuff?
No.
Do you want 10 facts about the number 13?
I was going to ask you, can you give me 10 facts about the number 13?
I knew you were going to ask. That's why I got them ready. That's why I prepared them.
Fantastic.
All right, this is a great one.
Okay.
It just so happens that quite a few serial killers have 13-letter names, including Charles Manson, Jeffrey Dahmer, Theodore Bundy, Alberto Di Salvo, and check this one, Oliver Wilkins. There you go. The name of the phobia.
I think not. Go on.
No, it's a killer on and off the bike. The name of the phobia of the number 13 is triskaidekaphobia.
Right. Triskaidekaphobia. It's about that. Triskaidekaphobia.
That's the one.
Right.
President Franklin D. Roosevelt didn't like dining in groups of 13. Statistically, you're not more likely to experience bad luck on Friday the 13th. I think it's kind of obvious, right?
Yeah.
But plenty of unlucky stuff has happened on Friday the 13th, including a plane crashed in the Andes Friday the 13th in 1972, and the survivors reluctantly... What, plane crash?
On the 13th, it seems like...
Oh, I don't know.
Seems like you would have thought there'd be more.
I don't know, mate.
Sorry, you were saying about the survivors.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot more.
That they eat each other.
So, yes, they resorted to cannibalism.
Did they? Can you imagine being in that position? Like, at what point it just changes? I guess you're so hungry you're just going mad by that point. Or do they eat dead bodies? Probably eat the bodies of the people that
dead
died,
bodies, yeah, and hope that...
Where did they land? In the Amazon, you say?
In the Andes. Plane crashed in the Andes, yeah. And on the same day, a Russian plane crashed near Moscow, killing 174 people. On Friday the 13th in 2006, nearly 400,000 people lost power in Buffalo, New York.
Dude, back to the plane crash thing. I always think about what I would do in that situation. Because I always watch like movies and stuff, and I'm very critical about what people do in those situations. Because I just think instantly, number one thing, treehouse. You know?
Okay. Yeah. What? Okay. If you crash in the jungle or something.
Okay, desert is a bit boring, but maybe I'll make
Desert's tough.
A burrow, maybe.
Yeah, you could build a sand burrow.
But I guess you don't want to
I don't know if that's the first thing.
What would be the first thing? You'd eat people straight off.
I'd just go for water, surely.
Water.
Water straight away. And maybe food. But yeah, if there's no food, then yeah. Look at who's the most tasty.
Yeah, I would do water and food as well. But I always just feel like on those movies that there's something annoying about the way that people do. You know, like Castaway, for instance.
Yeah.
There's some annoying things about the way he dealt with
What did you say? So you have a plane crash. The first thing you do, take a wank.
Is that what you're thinking? Yeah.
It's the first thing you do.
You just need that clear mind. Just
get it out.
There's people waking up in the wreckage to you.
Yeah. Just tugging one out. And when questioned, I just need a clear mind. I just need that clear mind.
I just needed, clarity.
And all the guys would agree, man. All the guys would be like, hey, it's a fair point, actually. Let me join you.
Sorry, post-masturbation clarity is what we need in this exact situation.
Exactly.
And then,
I don't know.
Treehouse.
Yeah. Just go super primal straight away.
Yeah.
Have you had any dodgy experiences with flying yourself? Because you take obviously a lot more flights than the majority of people.
We've done. No, I haven't. But I've had a lot of where it comes into land. Yeah, comes into land and then takes off again. And it is like, I just feel like I'm completely out of control as soon as I get on a plane. So there's something almost zen about. I've come to sound stupid, but I guess I've in some way come to terms with the fact that if I go, I go. Which is quite gnarly, actually. I haven't really thought about it, but it's the same like roller coasters. Like, they could derail and come off. The probability is very low, but you've come to terms with it. You sat in that seat. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when it comes into land and takes off again, it is like, whoa. Because you don't really think about the fact that you are in motion when you're in a plane and you're doing
500 mile an hour and someone is just, have your life and everyone around you's life in their hands.
Hey, what speed do passenger jets land?
Ooh, good question.
Because I've never thought about that. Because I've had some dodgy landings.
Yeah, dude. I used to get a plane a lot from England to Poland, like Ryanair, EasyJet, those sort of ones. And I feel like every single flight was a near-death experience, to be honest with you.
Really?
Every single landing was just like fucking... You know when people clap? They do the clap. And it was... I feel like there was a real breath of... We actually made it. Well done, dude. We got here. It felt like that, man. Some of those Polish Ryanair pilots are, really, they're like HGV drivers. I don't think they've had the license very long now.
No, it's true. Yeah, it's always gnarly on EasyJet or Ryanair ones, isn't it? They're all like new grads giving each other dead arms and shit in the cockpit.
Rough flights.
So, on average, passenger jets land between 150 and 165 miles an hour. That's really impressive. So that means they can slow their airspeed before landing that much. Amazing, huh?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it is.
You can kind of feel like a plane become a bit more unstable as they slow the speed down, can't you? You notice.
You mean after it's landed and it's like tanks?
No, I actually mean on the way in.
Okay.
So when they're coming in, you notice you can hear all of a sudden where they're slowing its airspeed.
Yeah. Cool. I wanted to be a pilot. I genuinely wanted to be a pilot when I was younger. Yeah. And then you had to have like thinking I wanted to be a pilot was pretty much as far as it got. Didn't go much further.
Whoa, maths, physics.
I watched Castaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's like maths and physics, and I was like, there's no point even.
It's one of those things for me that I can imagine, the really exciting curve of learning and becoming a pilot is just incredible. And then once you're 5 years into doing the same routes, I think it would become maybe they're paid so much because of the level of responsibility, not necessarily because of the difficulty of actually doing it in the moment.
And also unsociable hours all the time.
Yeah. But once you're doing it, you know what you're doing. It's no longer. I mean, imagine if they're taking off like fuck it out. They're not, are they? They're taking off chilled. But it's takeoff and landing that are the sketchy moments, aren't they? They're the.
I wonder how much it's changed too. Obviously every other industry's been sort of taken over by technology and machines making it easier. I wonder how much they even do. I mean,
that's it. Yeah, you have to do all of it when you're learning, and then once you're actually doing it, I think most of it's automated.
Yeah, cruise control. Just you're good.
Yeah,
we'll see you in LA. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But they still take over for landing and takeoff. They're still manually controlled.
Yeah,
there's loads of cool stuff. Maybe I wonder if we have any listeners who are pilots. Somehow the level of our content would suggest that maybe we do not. But if we have any pilot listeners, there's loads of interesting stuff. Like I always wonder how they don't have more mid-air collisions. That sounds stupid, but it's because if you're going east to west, you're, let's say, on a whole number. So you're on 200,000 feet and then 150,000 feet. They're probably the most ridiculous numbers. 150,000 feet. That might be in space.
You're like just going underneath the moon.
I'm just trying to give an example. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
So I think.
Is that why? So they're always ways above.
So even if all of the comms are down, all of the GPS is down, in theory, you're all sort of set on a different level, so you can. Again, started talking about stuff that I don't know about, but I think there's a lot of those things in place, like manual safety precautions that you just don't. If you're going east to west, you just fly at a certain height.
Yeah. I'd love to hear from someone who's had like a real experience, like a bad experience on a plane. Like a Travis Barker kind of story.
Dude, I know someone.
Do you?
Seb Yates. We could get Seb Yates on the podcast, and he could talk us through his experience because it was insane. I might have even talked about it on the podcast.
You might have actually, yeah. You might. I don't know anything about it, but you might have mentioned it before.
So Seb Yates was on flight 2069, which was a British Airways flight that got taken over by a nutter. It was before they closed the doors, and actually everyone says they closed the doors after 9/11, but I think they actually closed the doors after flight 2069. I could be wrong again.
Doors as in the doors behind the pilot?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, the cockpit doors. Which is, how insane is it that before, everyone's smoking on board, the doors are open, it's just like...
walking around, just having a JD and Coke with the pilot. Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, party up there.
But yeah, that was the closest to a catastrophe that I think any flight's... I think 3 more seconds in free fall, and 3 more seconds in free fall, and he would have. The plane would have disintegrated because it went into a stall and then a dive. And I think Seb was like 12. It'd be interesting. We could get him on. The plane.
I would like to actually hear that
13.
Story.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I mean, his was lucky. They got away with it. Really lucky.
Wow, we could just dial him in now as well. We can use the new bit that this thing does. We can dial him in. Yeah.
If I knew what he's up to, you never know what he's up to.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Could be doing all sorts of things. Let's be brutally honest with you. Yeah, all right. Well, anyway, do you want another stat, or are you not bothered?
I do. No, I do. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, so we've got the next one. Many buildings call their 13th floors by other designations, which is, we knew that, right?
Yeah. So what? Like what?
Okay,
Dave.
so yeah, they could call it Dave.
Yeah.
Call it whatever. Plenty of buildings have a 13th floor, but often it will go by a different name. Frankly, selling condos or getting hotel guests to stay on the 13th floor has always proven difficult. In 2015, the New York-based housing data and listings firm City Realty released a list of condos in Manhattan that have a 13th floor. According to The Atlantic, the company found that out of 629 buildings with 13 or more floors, only 55 labelled the 13th floor as the 13th floor.
Wow,
that means only 9% of the condos that have actually 13 floors label it floor 13. Yeah.
So what's the example?
Yeah, so they usually go with 12B, 12A.
Okay,
or
I think
even
I've heard
M,
that before.
or even M, which is the letter of the alphabet underneath 13.
How interesting.
How interesting.
Yeah, so that's like mid. I've seen M before. I've always thought it was middle.
Yeah.
Hey, one day when this podcast takes off, let's get a building with 13 floors and
let's
name.
Yeah, it might be small, it might be a Lego building, but we could do our building.
Yeah. No, it might be massive in New York, and then we'll call the 13th floor like Stuart or something.
But seventh fact. But in Vancouver, buildings are no longer allowed to skip the 13th floor.
Why?
Okay, because that's I don't know. Hang on. The Canadian city used to let builders jump to number 14 to avoid the unlucky number. However, things started to get out of hand when there were also requests to skip any floor that had the number 4 in it. So 4, 14, 24. Because that's also considered unlucky in some cultures. There you go.
It's tricky,
How
doesn't
interesting.
it? Just the floors are going to end up bloody emojis, and then in a fire, you're going to ring down like, I'm on the smiley face emoji floor.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be like, which smiley face? The blushy one? Not the blushy one. You know, it would add confusion to an emergency situation. You'd be wishing it was called 13 at that point.
Yeah, you would. Okay, last one. There's no simple explanation for why the number 13 is considered unlucky. So there you go.
Nothing whatsoever. There's no like Satan thing or...
Okay, so the number 13, there's always, a bit of text under here, but it's never that good, is it? The number 13's bad reputation doesn't stem from one simple story, but the unlucky number is rooted in multiple legends. One tale involved one of the world's oldest legal documents, the Code of Hammurabi, which reportedly omitted a 13th law from its list of legal rules. According to the History Channel, in reality, the omission was no more than a clerical error made by one of the document's earliest translators. There's also the fact that many systems simply end at 12. For example, the History Channel reports that ancient Sumerians developed a numeral system based on the use of 12 that is still used for measuring time today. Most calendars have 12 months. A single day is comprised of 2 12-half-hour days, following so closely on the heels of a perfect number. Some argue the poor 13 was sure to be found lacking and unusual. There you go. Makes. I mean, 12 is years and months and
hours,
everything. Yeah. Seasons is divided into 4 and 12. So.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Poor 13.
Wow. Interesting shit.
Who knew?
So, no, who knew? I to be honest, when I see 13 on a race plate, you do go, I don't know why. It's still a thing, though. I don't know why.
Put it upside down, don't they?
Yeah, I think Bernard might have run a 13 a little bit this year, maybe.
Yeah.
Might be wrong, but yeah. And same with 69. You see that, and you're like, oh, especially with an American football team. 69's usually usually the guy that doesn't make the squad too often or whatever. So. I don't know. So I want to bring up the story that happened this week, because I find this quite interesting. There's a couple of things I wanted to actually talk about.
Dude? Is this a current event?
This is a current event.
Okay,
this is a current event. So there's a British Championship motocross rider called Tommy Searle. He's been on the circuit for years, dude. Good kid from the interactions I've had with him over the years.
Good YouTube channel he's got.
Good YouTube channel.
Yeah, real funny.
Hangs around with Billy Bolt, Ed Warren. They have got a podcast too called 2 Pro 1 Slow. I think it's called. Really good name. Yeah, 2 Pro 1 Slow. Really cool name. And these guys obviously are doing it right. Like, they're doing a good job of what they do, etc., etc. But over the weekend, they released a YouTube video going riding like enduro, basically. So from what I understand, Tommy's doing a bit more enduro riding.
Right.
as opposed to the normal motocross, which is sort of more traditionally known for. So they're doing a little bit more enduro, and they went to Wales, and they rode up some mountain bike trails, which were lovingly created by the locals. One local in particular that has been on the podcast before, AJ Jones. So he sent it to me, and he was like, "Dude, have you seen this? It's kicking off." And sort of opening the discussion a little bit, really, because I think it's an interesting topic that moto guys go find some trails that are good. They've got jumps and whatever. You know, I from a moto background, I can appreciate why that would be fun. But from a mountain bike background, I appreciate how that can be devastating to a set of trails. But not just that, there's more to this story. I feel like the trails that they used were semi-private, from what I understand. They were like, the guys that have been building these trails and stuff have been liaising with the landowner a lot. They've got permission. Apparently, I don't know how true this is. I don't know the area. It's really hard to get onto it. You've got to go sort of under a fence or whatever. It's not accessible. Let's just put it that way. But these guys have released this YouTube video, and it's got them riding these trails on. The other bit to add to this, which is where I feel it gets a little bit weird. Obviously, the YouTube thing is weird straight away because they're showing that they've rode these trails, which is going to pick up steam. But then it's the fact that social media picks it up. It gets shared around a lot. There's a lot of nasty comments, which I can see why there would be. There's going to be a lot of angry people, especially local trail riders, local riders and stuff that have helped dig this spot. But then, rather than apologise, Tommy starts just deleting all of the comments, and that's where I find it's hard to justify that. Okay, you fucked up. You rode some stuff you shouldn't have ridden down. Up. You've rode up some stuff. Yeah. You've rode up some stuff that people have been digging, but then starts deleting all the comments. And that's a bit, I was sort of monitoring it a little bit. I didn't say a few things, to be honest with you. I'd sort of chime back because a lot of, there's one guy on there who was like, these MTB guys are like being bitches and it's public land. And I was like, you do know it's not public land. You'd be pissed too if you'd built this and you'd spent years of your life up there doing this, So, I don't know.
Dude, it's a tough one. I've got to say, we have the same where I live, the conflict. And it just, in the UK, it just doesn't seem like there's enough space. Like, I would be pissed if I was like enjoying motocross full time. There's fuck all to ride. I don't know what, you know what I mean? So I do feel for those guys in a way. They're allowed on green lanes and it's just, they're really, basically, we actually are not allowed on much more than what they're allowed on, really. If we're talking about it legally, like, trails are illegal, largely. But we don't make a shitload of noise, and I've got to say the soil erosion is not as much of a thing. Like, like areas that get taken over by motos, they look like the Somme, don't they? They look terrible.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they'll fuck a field up in no time. But also, I think I agree with you saying that there's not much to ride. Fully agree with that. But there's a lot more to ride in Wales where they were. Do you know? You know what I mean? It's the Surrey Hills, quite compact. Same Peak District, quite sort of compact. And there is a lot of bridleways, but from what I understand, there's a lot more where they were riding.
I mean, if I lived in Canada, I would have a trail bike and I'd bomb out into the woods 100 miles and go camping and build a moto track and all of those things. But it just doesn't seem realistic here. Like it. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? I actually, weirdly, I went to an enduro race on army land that they allow. Like the Natterjack Enduro. Yeah, it was cool to see, but there's land conflict up there with mountain bikers, and you just think, what are you complaining about when you compare it to like what happens?
So do they have mountain biking on that same spot of land?
Yeah.
See, this is the problem as well, right? Is that we've had it locally actually as well. So there's a spot that I used to ride at, filmed a few bits there and stuff. That the landowner over the last he bought it, basically this landowner bought it, got pissy about mountain bikes being in there, which is understandable in a way, but where he's bought this land is basically in the middle of a housing estate. People are going to go in there, whether you like it or not, people are going to go walk in there, they're going to take the kids for a bike ride in there. And alright, some of the stuff had to maybe be knocked down because there were some big jumps and stuff, which is understandable. But then he's got like really pissy at every single mountain biker that goes in there. You know, the dude apparently walks around on a Sunday afternoon with a shotgun threatening people.
Yeah.
But every year they hold the National XC race in those woods. And so how do you expect to take...
Yeah.
How do you expect to take it seriously when he can cash in, right? Like, oh yeah, I'll cash in that one weekend of the year and, you know, make a couple of grand or something. But then every other day, 364 days of the year, you're not allowed in there. It's like, that's just being a hypocrite. You know, you're happy to make money, but you're not happy to let people freely roam around.
Yeah, it's so difficult because I kind of see both sides. Like, if it was my land, what are you doing on my land? In a way, you know, if there's no right of way, like, get out of my garden. I don't. But then equally,
dude, I'm like it here at home. I don't have any land, but if someone's like on the end of my drive, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's my land. Leave. You know.
Funny, isn't it? What funny animals.
Yeah.
But no, I find the moto one hard because it's like the floodgates open. Like, you see it here, like they've completely wrecked a load of downhill tracks. A load of the downhill tracks that used to be in a load of videos like Earthed and Sprung maybe. Anyway, they're completely fucked. They're just a channel, and once you get like a moto hill climb channel, then the rain goes in it, and it just becomes like a creek. You know, it's just like entirely unrideable. Like, the tracks are completely gone.
It's not like you can share. Motor and MTB, it's not possible to share because they just chew it up too bad.
Yeah, and it is difficult. I had a funny story actually. When they were first fucking up all these tracks where I live, I'd go hard at people, and you shout at people, and like, it doesn't really do anything. You know, they're on a moto, they got full face on, they're kind of anonymous, they shout back and they fuck off. But if you shout, look out guys, the police are here, they crushed my mate's bike, then it, you know, like, as if you're like helping them out. And I had a dude, I ran over, it was so good. I was on like a ride with like 5 other people, and he's halfway up a downhill track, he's stalled. You know, they're squids, there's the same proportion of squids on motos as there is on mountain bikes. It's like, they don't know what they're doing, they're littering, they're fucking everything up. So this dude's on a steep hillside, he's stalled, and then I've really hyped him up, like, fuck, they're coming, they've got defenders, like this, and he's tried to kick. His kick starts on the right hand side of the bike, and he's up against the hill, so his left foot is on the hill. So he's kicking with his right, and he's falling over. Oh, it gave me so much joy. The bike starts like dragging down the hill, like his front brake levers snapped off, and he's just scurrying around trying to pick it up. It's great. So good. Nice, it's difficult. Nice. It is difficult, isn't it?
It is difficult. It's really difficult. I think it's something that's never going to really be resolved. I don't think this battle of land ownership and trails and stuff like that it's going to be something for a long time. I think
tough as well.
Forever.
You know, with Tommy, there's no real angle for him. You know, he's
this is the thing
dude.
as well, right?
He's rich dude. He's got his own track. What, you're going to go and fuck up everyone else's stuff, you know? You don't need to do it.
That's half the problem.
And then kicking back,
rich
it's like, come on, rich boy. You know? Also,
dude,
there comes responsibility when you're like a big name like that. You got logos on your jersey.
There is
you can't go do fucking stuff like that,
No, I agree totally. There's more to this, which I don't think we can talk about, but I'll probably tell you after. That.
Oh, really? Yeah,
there's a little bit more to it, but for the most part, they're like the bullet points, the bread and butter. But I agree with you, especially if you've got a platform. You're that guy, Tommy Searle, arguably one of the most famous riders to ever come out of the UK. Watch yourself a little bit.
Watch your P's and Q's, dude. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. There's I know a load of moto guys, and they go riding enduro in Wales, and it's kind of that. If you travel all that way, there's kind of this separation. You feel a bit above the law, and it's not your problem almost. And I feel like that's a really bad thing as well, and definitely something that I've been. You know, I went to Thailand. I've got a moped, and I just started enduroing through. You know, it's not. It feels different.
There is a
separation,
somehow,
but actually, it feels different, but it isn't different. It's just the same as someone bombing through your garden, and it's not acceptable, really, is it? I think about the stuff I used to do as a kid. I never rode up mountain bike trails because obviously I built all the mountain bike trails. I didn't want to wreck them, but I used to ride my moto in the woods, and we had a freestyle ramp, and I just think about doing that now, and I cannot imagine it. It's so antisocial, so like.
Yeah, totally. The only time that my mum's ever kicked me out of my house when I was a kid, young, was when I took the CRF 50 out and just rode around.
Yeah.
And she came home from work early as I was coming up the road on it. And she was like, "What the fuck have you been?"
Yeah, I know. It's
I
bad.
was riding in the woods, like, you know. But yeah, it is. It's antisocial. It's not.
The super difficult thing is these landfill electric, horrible motorcycles that I hate so much. And if I had land, I would buy 10 and I would really enjoy them. But those things are really bad for biking, really. Because you get lumped in the same group as well. And a lot of it's difficult.
You mean the actual, what they call the I
don't even want to say the name.
Something like
Shitter,
that.
I think they're called Shitter electric motocross bikes. But they, I just think everything about it's bad. Because you'll ride mountain bike trails, you have a full face helmet on, it's more threatening, you're coming across people, you're coming up quick. Like
quiet,
it's just
horses, all that sort of stuff.
Really is an accident waiting to happen. And it's one that you wouldn't experience on a mountain bike. Like it's once in a blue moon, really, you have a close one with a walker. For me, anyway. I mean, I spent my life in the woods and I can name the number of times, I can count on one hand the number of times where I've actually thought, God, that was close, I could have hit that person. It just doesn't happen for me. I just think about crossing paths and other people. Whereas you get a newbie, new to the outdoors, he's got an electric motocross bike, he's got his full face on, peak all the way down, tinted goggles on in the dark. You can just imagine it like a horrible e-motorbike running into a horse. It's tough, dude.
Yeah, it is tough. It's a nice segue there, I think. Something that a lot of people... This is a bit serious.
Is this a serious episode?
A dick joke you can throw in, alright?
No dick jokes right now, no.
Oh dear. You on the snooze?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought that's what you were doing. I was going to join you, but I'll not. Speaking of outside, so a few people reached out and wanted us to talk about this, right? Which is, I'm always a little bit... When that happens, I'm like, are we really the right people? I don't know, but maybe we can talk about this and open up some discussion about it, as we are like a super serious podcast. Is what
Big
we should do.
Yeah, super serious episode 13, serious episode, yeah.
The serious episode.
Yeah, it is,
should we call it that?
Yeah, let's call it that. Yeah, it's a serious episode.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's always hard coming up with show names when I'm doing it. I'm like, what should I call this?
Yeah, I bet.
The super serious episode.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So recently, Pinkbike was acquired by Outside.
Yes. So talk me through the acquisition. What did it go for? What's the Outside group?
Oh, good question. Okay, so I've done a little bit of research into this, and I spoke to a few friends who work within the bike industry this morning to get their sort of take on it and sort of figure out a little bit what was going on. Ultimately, with anything, there's a lot of this might happen, that might happen. You know, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say confusion, but there's definitely some sort of unknowns for now. All we know is Pinkbike was acquired by a group called Outside. So, Outside was originally started by a guy called Lawrence Burke. He established Outside in 1977. Recently, a dude called Robin Thurston, who, if anyone wants to check it out, you might enjoy it. Pinkbike did a podcast with him, talking about the acquisition and what it means for Pinkbike and where it's all going and stuff. Been 100% transparent. I haven't listened to it, so I was gonna, but I haven't yet. So we're coming at this purely from a looking from the outside in vibe, right?
Ooh,
so Robin,
I see what you did there. Pardon the pun.
Like it.
Whoops.
So Robin previously owned a company called Pocket Media, which was a load of like outdoor focused publications, so stuff from running, climbing, vegetarian magazines, some bodybuilding stuff. There's tons of them. I think there's like 30 or 40 or something. There's a lot.
Yeah.
And that was up until about early 2021. Pocket Media then acquired Outside, and the Outside group was made up of Outside, what's it called? I've got some notes here. Outside Integrated Media, so Outside Magazine, Outside Studios, Outside Go, which is a travel company, Outside TV, and also I think it's called Gaia, Gaia, GPS system. So they bought that at the same time. They also bought Athlete Registration and Peloton magazine, all at the same time. So then in early 2021, well, actually not really that early, not that long ago, a month ago, that group, that group, Pocket Media, changed names to be called Outside. Outside then purchased Pinkbike, along with Trail Forks. Yeah, and the other one.
I can't think of the
What's
other
it
one.
called? Cycling Tips?
Oh,
No.
okay. I don't know. No, I didn't know that was connected.
Yeah, let me just clarify that, because I don't want to be spitting misinformation about what they actually did buy. Yeah, Cycling Tips, Trail Forks, and Pinkbike. So they bought those three.
Yeah.
And then I guess there's been a lot of nervousness maybe within the community that, you know, it's going to become all paid media. It's going to be called, everything's going to be behind a paywall. Yeah, it's going to transition into that business model.
Got you. Yeah,
which is ultimately
So that's
what it is.
It's hard, isn't it? Because do we want to pay for? I don't know. You pay for Netflix.
Exactly, dude. I'm with you. Right.
Yeah.
So I spoke to a few friends and stuff this morning about, again, people who work in the bike industry that obviously going to remain unnamed. About what this could mean, some of the speculation going on maybe behind the scenes that people are talking about, maybe some of the stuff that you might not necessarily think about. Ultimately, I agree with what you've just said. I think media is changing so quickly, and people don't necessarily surf the internet like they used to. You know, I think people have one or two websites they go to for stuff. It's like, right, I want my bike stuff, Pinkbike. I want my moto stuff, Racer X. You know, I want my fashion stuff.
What's gnarly
that
is it really, if you think about it, if it's behind a paywall, it's more likely to be actual journalism and not paid advertorial, they call it. I don't know if I listen. This is the fucking serious episode, isn't it? Jeez.
Yeah,
anyway,
interesting though.
Yeah, totally. So everything on Pinkbike basically comes with some kind of monetary. I would say. Would you say that's fair? There's event topics that aren't, but anything that's sort of remotely product based or even athlete based will come with. It will be only posted on the main page if it's mind-blowingly game-changing or if someone's exchanged money for it. So then it makes it much harder for someone who isn't paying for it. And like certainly with DMR, when I was doing all the adverts for them, it blew my mind how much it cost. And then the fact that you could, you know, if you're in a group test, you're paying basically. You don't get in a group test unless you're paying for ads. Yep,
true. Yep, totally. And I think so. A few different ways to talk about this, I think, as well. And a friend of mine today brought up something really interesting. So a lot of these group tests are, like you said, it's paid. So okay, we're doing a saddle test. Cool, send us a oi saddle, whatever it might be.
Yeah, it's not to say
you'll be involved in the group test. It doesn't mean you're going to get a good review. It doesn't mean anything. But what I think there is, and this is purely from my own personal experience and stuff. There's a lot. People work with people a lot of the time, right? And if you work at Pinkbike and I sent you this bit of snooze and we've got a good relationship, you're not gonna slate it.
Yeah, I hear
you might be like, dude, like the review's maybe not that good, just a heads up, but you're not gonna go, this is dangerous, it's gonna kill you. You know, you're probably not gonna do that.
Have you ever been to a press launch?
Yeah.
You're not staying in an F1 hotel, are you?
No, you're not. There's a lot, and that is natural, right? I think that's what goes on. Brands want to look after the journalists that are coming to review the stuff. You know, you are not going to pay for much stuff. It's going to be quite a nice experience, and that could, in theory, taint your view a little bit. Let's be honest, a little bit. You're going to come away like, fuck, that was really sick. Like, yeah.
So yeah, paywall
shit,
has the opportunity for Pinkbike to not be the same.
So really, just to clarify, so my friend who I was speaking to today was like, the one thing he is a little bit nervous of, and this is purely speculation, this may not happen, right? We're just talking between friends, is that they will have the opportunity to do more like lab testing. And what that means, how he looks at it is, you know, like Which magazine, they don't necessarily oftentimes have an association with a brand. So they'll just go and buy, let's say they go and buy, let's just use a saddle again for an example.
Yeah.
They go to the local bike shop, they buy a saddle. Because they've not had any interaction with the brand, they're not going to piss anyone off. They can write a really honest review, which is good. And then paywall it. So, okay, right, I actually want to buy this saddle. I really want to see what they said. Okay, you got a paywall to get through to be able to read the actual honest review. So that just reduces that risk of any sort of like tension between marketing managers and stuff like and journalists and stuff like that, which I thought was an interesting way of looking at it.
It is, it is. There's good examples of like Stab. I think I bang on about Stab, that surf one, and that's behind a paywall. And they do really good stories, and like stories that are like not controversial, but like truthful. You know, like they actually cover stuff in depth, and I don't know that's exciting. The thought of that.
I think what you said as well is really accurate. Is that, you know, we all have Netflix, Amazon Prime. Not all, but, you know, a lot of people will have. I'll use the example of Netflix. I don't watch Netflix that much. It costs me £12 a month. If Pinkbike was going to cost me £10 a month, I might be like, yeah, all right, it's cool. Like,
yeah.
But the major thing for me is it's got to be good content. Now, obviously, Pinkbike has made a name for itself off the back of other people's content.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. That's what it is. You submit stuff there, it goes on the front page, great, either you've paid for it or whatever, but they don't necessarily create much of the... They've started doing a little bit more, like the privateer thing was...
Their YouTube channel as well, yeah.
Yeah, but ultimately, if going behind a paywall brings more good quality stuff in, then why not? Would you not rather sit and watch a mountain bike documentary created by Pinkbike or outside than sit and watch Netflix? Like, I probably would.
I mean, they won't be able to keep up with. Well, I guess they will. They'll post the stuff behind the paywall that's most relevant to them, and it'll be more fair. Then the cool edits will still go up. It's not to say that they won't post other people's content, I guess.
But it's funny to watch people really jump to this. Oh, it's going behind a paywall. I'm not supporting it anymore.
Yeah.
But yet you probably are supporting other networks like Netflix, Disney Plus, whatever.
However million visit the homepage a day, 1,000, whatever it is, they're not going to get
700 million per year. Pinkbike is in the top 10 sports websites on the planet, and it's also in the top 10,000 websites on the planet.
They've really got a monopoly, haven't they? Because it used to be that I'd visit. So I don't really use a desktop anymore for like finding news and stuff. I just use probably social media as like how I consume news now, I would say, which is probably bad. But I used to visit Dirt, Vital, Pinkbike. They were like the three, and now you don't visit Dirt. You visit Vital for sure, but less than you do Pinkbike. Pinkbike has a monopoly over mountain biking, really, doesn't it? Like.
It does, and that I think is I don't know if it's good. Obviously, I feel like it's bad, if I'm honest with you. But again, the way that people consume content has changed so much that you do just have that one go-to, and if they're not creating anything unique, then you know that pretty much you go to Vital, it's the same stuff. They've just reworded the title a little bit. It's the same edit. You're still going to see the same stuff. Different review. You might go there to, again, using the saddle. You know, you might go there to read a review of the saddle and see what that person said over
make
that
or break
person.
For you is like what they're going to produce once they go behind a paywall. If they go behind a paywall, that would be.
And I feel like this outside acquisition, if anything, is going to open up more opportunity to do that. Right? There's going to be more budget. Maybe you'd like to think so. There's going to be more potential for sort of cross promotion. Maybe sort of you've got these huge other industries running, walking. Maybe some cross promotion of doing different things together, which in theory might help mountain biking. I don't know, maybe it won't, but I'm looking at this as well, like very much from the outside looking in, that there's a lot of new people to the sport. So maybe for us core, let's say, we don't want that. Like, we don't want to see that sort of stuff. We want to see the cool shit, right?
Yeah.
Same with, like Stab. That's why you go there, because it's the cooler side of things, right? It's like the more unique sort of side of it. So I think mountain biking is so generic now as well. There's so many people involved, so many newbies, so many whatever. I think it's I think Pinkbike's just good to be a place for everyone, and not necessarily
so
down
a specific
that shouldn't be, route.
The paywall shouldn't be for the paywall should be for core audience, and Pinkbike should be for everyone. Is that your thoughts on, like, if you were going to arrange it, like a Dirt magazine would be a paywall one, and then Pinkbike would be the free to everyone
I think
one?
that's where I'm at with it. I think so. I think that's roughly where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, the cool thing is, it's a success story, dude. You look at Pinkbike, look at the site objectively.
Dude.
That's not a complicated site. It's not. It's really quite clunky and old school. I'm not.
I think if anything, outside is hopefully going to improve the website though, because I agree, but it's been the same since we were kids going on it, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you remember photo of the day was like such a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think there's even a section for it now. POD.
Oh really?
Yeah, I can't find
Didn't
it
used to be on the top left-hand corner, really small? Or maybe I'm off.
It did. It's not now. The podcast is.
Oh right.
They're on episode 82 of their podcast.
Are they?
Yeah. We're on 13, dude.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
No, it's 57 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Technically. I don't know. It is an interesting thing. I think there's a lot of people jumped to conclusions straight away that it was going to be really bad and that we were going to lose the audience and stuff like that. But
I wonder
I'm trying to be
what
optimistic.
our listeners think.
I'd love to know what our listeners think.
Yeah,
Comment below, folks, please. I'd love to know what people think. Would you still support Pinkbike? Will you still go there if you had to pay to view certain content?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, here's an example. We go to Patreon. Would everyone still listen to it? Much fewer, huh? Much fewer.
I think so. I think that, especially with podcasts, the beauty of the podcast is that it's a free thing.
I agree. Panic, not everyone. We're not going to Patreon.
Not yet. But that Ferrari's got to put fuel in itself somehow. So I agree that. What was I going to say? No, I think podcast. That's what it was built on.
Yeah,
free.
I agree. Yeah,
but ultimately, it does. And that gets into that conversation again that we've probably had a million times. But ultimately, there's got to be money in it somewhere. That's why we have sponsors. It's why we talk about certain brands and stuff, because that actually keeps the lights on it. I've got a life, got mortgages and bills and stuff to pay. Like, it doesn't come free. I did it free for 3.5 years.
And on that note, what does your t-shirt say? Manscaped. Davey.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. I saw your junk the other day. It's a bit of a personal question. I don't know is it cool if I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, but I'm already thinking, dude, I should stop sending you those photos.
Yeah, but anyway, the photos are good and keep them coming, all right? But what I wanted to ask specifically, how do you keep your junk looking so good?
Okay, yeah, it's a great question, dude, and one that I get often, especially when I slide photos of the junk out to people. I should really stop doing that, but
maybe a bit less. Yeah,
weird 50%. Fetish thing that I've got. Yeah, and obviously, I used to go with the lighter fluid and a lighter to get rid of all the hair down there, but it did used to look a bit of a mess. And honestly, dude, I don't blame females for not wanting to go anywhere near me because it was a mess and it used to smell like lighter fluid. I wouldn't go.
So what have you done? What have you changed?
Dude, easy. Quick switch over to Manscaped. That way, there's no fire involved. There's no dangerous activity. We've actually managed to get rid of the fire blanket and the fire extinguisher out of the bathroom, which is nice.
Cause, surely you still have you worry about electricity and water mixing together or not?
No, dude. Manscaped's awesome. It's fully sort of waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. You can use it out in the rain if you want to. If you can go for a walk with it. Yeah.
What sort of RPM does that thing kick out?
Dude, great question. 7,000 RPM motor.
Wow, so that really gets through the thick of it.
Yeah, it'll. You could probably mow your lawn with it, dude. To be honest with you, and I have seen some people manscaping the lawn.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's called And then one last question, dude. Because and this is not one that I get through the pictures you send me. Why does it smell so good?
It's a great question, dude. Again, obviously, used to be a big fan of Lynx Africa, but I'm a little bit, I've got bookshelves now and stuff, so I want to have like a nice cologne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to actually.
I hear you.
Yeah, I want to be radiating success. And I recently made a switch to this. It's called Refined by Manscaped.
Wow.
It comes in this amazing little presentation box too. You open that and there's your Refined cologne. It's in there.
Wow.
Like, sitting pretty.
Okay, last question. It's not a personal one, but how can I get on board with this?
Dude, super easy, man. Go on the internet.
Yeah.
You got that, haven't you?
I've got that, yeah.
Yeah. Got that. Manscaped.com.
Yeah.
You don't have to put all the other stuff in. There's like HTT. Manscaped.com.
Yeah.
Look through some of the stuff, dude. They've got the Lawnmower 4.0, obviously. We've spoke about it before, but it is the ultimate male grooming tool.
Yeah.
Enter the code RIDECOMPANION20. Okay. What was it?
Ride Companion 20?
Ride Companion 20. and that will knock 20% off anything on the website and free shipping.
Oh, right. Dude, I've got to get off the phone. I'm making an order.
No worries. Get on there. Before we do that, I also want to say, dude, my nasal passage, very clear breather. Listen to this.
Yeah.
No hairs.
Because surely the lawnmower won't fit up there.
No hairs. And also the ears, I can hear everything. I can hear, if you whispered over a field, I can hear it. It's like,
wow, yeah.
And that's because of this. Weed Whacker.
And that's available on the same site?
Yeah. And you know what, dude? Let's give this one away as well. Shall we give it away?
Well, we can. It's up to you.
It's not used. It's brand new. It's sealed and everything.
That makes more sense then. Yeah, okay.
So we'll give this one away. All you have to do to win this Manscaped Weed Whacker is share this episode on social media. Instagram stories, great. An actual social media tile with a bit of a podcast, maybe a photo, screenshot.
Someone with a thick bush.
That's double points. You're probably going to win a little bit better if you do that. Just tag Ollie at @OW_23, tag at the HKT Podcast, and tag Manscaped too. Let's show them some love, dude, because these guys are out there making seamless and hair free. So
just better, isn't it?
Better, yeah. And that's it, folks. Ride Companion 20, manscaped.com. Let's get back into this episode because no doubt you want to. Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Doesn't ruin the flow.
Hey, I think that's a cracking. I think that's a cracking topic, and I'd love to hear what people think about that.
Have you been on Beta much or Beta? Beta.
What's
B-E-T-A.
that then? Trials Motorbike.
BETA. No, Beta's owned by Outside as well, and if you look at it now, it looks like Stab a little bit.
Does it?
It's like a cool sort of mountain bike website.
Oh, really?
Yeah, BETA.
BETA MTB.
Yeah, Beta magazine.
It's not got
so this
good
is owned
SEO.
by the same group.
Right, Beta MTB. Right, got you.
A little bit cleaner. Outside logo in the top.
First impressions on a product. We got a lot of reviews here.
Behind paywalls.
Yeah, there you go.
I
think something about Pinkbike being that simple, being just like a timeline of news, is what makes it good though. Like as soon as it becomes all like Squarespacey and all like
dynamic
think it
and moving
something,
and
I
shit.
just think, oh fucking, what you selling me? Piss off,
Yeah, totally. I'm with you. Wow, I think that was interesting. I'd like to hear what people actually think though, because ultimately I don't know what I think. I'm still very much on the fence with the whole thing.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, actually, just to add a bit of a thing at the end, is that I've got businesses, and there's got to be some sort of end goal at some point. You don't just run it because you run it because you love it, obviously. But I think people look at Pinkbike as like they own it for some reason and like, oh, this is our like cool little core thing. But there's people behind there that are working their asses off to build this thing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
At some point, you're going to want to sell. You're going to want to move it on, cash out. You know why inside knowledge, you know why they've never sold it before, especially being one of the top websites in the world?
Why is that?
They wanted too much money for it.
There you go. Do you know? Do you know the figure on what they sold it for?
No, I don't think it's public, but I do know.
Fascinating,
and this has got to remain within podcast circles only. So if you listen to this, people do not repeat. But in 2012 they tried to sell it for 10 million.
Okay, got you.
So let's say it's above that.
There you go. I would imagine it. I guess I would imagine it was above that. So interesting, though, isn't it? Like, what is it other than the people that follow it? I know it's a business. I know loads of shit goes into it, but it's ultimately a web page. Like what is it that you're selling? You know what you're buying when you buy a candle shop. You're buying premises, stock, customer base. But like Pinkbike is essentially just customer base
data.
and an image, isn't it? And data. Yeah, it's nuts.
You're buying data, SEO. You're buying all that stuff. It's
crazy,
insane, really, if you think about
crazy.
it.
And it's not an easy one to do. I mean, even Red Bull have tried and failed. Red Bull Bike for a long time was like, they were coming for Pinkbike, weren't they? They wanted to be the news source of mountain biking. And I don't know, maybe you go on Red Bull Bike, but it hasn't taken off like Pinkbike. Why? I don't know, but it hasn't.
Yeah, there you go. We'd love to hear your comments, folks. Again, if we don't use this clip, no problem, but wherever you're listening, send us a DM, whatever. Let's hear your comments. I'd love to know more.
Yes.
Any insights and stuff.
Absolutely.
So you've already done your watching.
I've done my watching. Do you want me to do my listening?
Yeah, I would like that.
Mob Deep, Trife Life.
Mob Deep, dude.
Yeah.
Old school. Like
Mob
it.
Deep, Trife Life. What have you been watching and listening to, Davey?
All right, man. I mean, the watching has got to be Red Bull Imaginate.
It's on my bit of paper.
It's got to be that. I mean,
dude,
speechless again.
Did you see the crash that Sipes had?
Dude, yeah. Just straight over the bars in the air.
Yeah.
I think it stalled, didn't it, the bike, and it just nosedived.
Yeah. But he,
and he was like, why did it
off
even
and then
stall?
got caught up in the bike and,
Yeah. He just sat there like, oh, that was all right.
Do you know what I took away from it? Like, I don't know which bit I watched. I think it was the full show. It's 25 minutes or something. But it was like on the build-up where they're all testing out lines and stuff. It's so sick hearing like moto guys speak, because you have the same thing in mountain biking. You have like, just pump that roller, don't brake, and you'll be good. Or like, you know, you have like a way of talking about it, like, I'll push through this one and then you'll overshoot the next, so pull up the next, or pull left on the hip, make sure you're on the outside edge, all of those things. And then moto guys are just like top of second or top of third. They do the noises, Like, da, da.
Yeah. And I watched that and I was thinking the same. I'm like, okay, so you've got Ryan Sipes telling Axel Hodges it's top of second, full noise, but yet they're on totally different bikes.
Yeah, I know,
totally different gearing, probably. It's like, it makes no sense.
But they all work out amazingly, like, amazingly precise for jumps that are so big, aren't they? I mean, I guess you could say the same about Fest, like.
Totally. I think if anyone hasn't seen this, by the way, just a heads up, it's called Red Bull Imagination, and basically they gave freestyle/freeride motocross guy Tyler Berryman a huge plot of land, and he got to build whatever he wanted. And it's a mix of freeride, FMX, jibbing, quarter pipe, and it's just all on this huge plot of land. And then they have a competition to see who can have the most creative lines and pull the biggest tricks. Only issue I've got with the footage, and this is the issue I have, right, is a lot of that competition edit was talking about, like you said, the lines and like, okay, I can jump from here to there and I can land on the side of that instead of the backside. But yet you didn't really get to see the runs.
No, that
it was
is
like
true.
First run, few hits, and you're like, oh, that's cool. I'd like to see how he linked all of the track together.
Yeah, it's
like, that
quite
would have
difficult.
Been cool.
Yeah, it would. You're right. Maybe that will come. To be honest,
maybe I think it's got to. They've got to put full runs out.
I think they did a good job of like explaining each jump and like giving like, oh, this is 120 foot and this is.
Dude, you know how big that is? Holy!
What's the biggest jump you've done on moto?
I think I don't know the size though, dude. Like I couldn't tell you. There used to be a step up at Lake Elsinore in California, which was quite like for the area was like pretty big. And that was pretty gnarly. That was like a out of the left hand corner, like a double, and then it was full noise third gear all the way up the face of it.
Yeah.
That was big. It was a big step up. That was scary as fuck actually. And I remember the first time seeing a really big jump was Sheffield Supercross, and there was a big double in the middle, and I remember walking it track walk and just been like, no way, there's not a prayer that I'd ever even consider hitting this thing. Even on a 250F Honda, like, no way. It was the first time I'd ever physically seen it, and I bet that was like 75, 80 foot.
Yeah.
And these guys are hitting 120 out of a corner in second gear. There's commitment. There's commitment, dude, and there's commitment. You know what I mean? That's some ballsy shit.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's interesting, like you said, to watch them piece this thing together, especially that section that they had, which was just a load of different bumps.
Yeah, what was it? Kevin Wyndham's K-Dubs something they called it, because he used to do the.
That's right.
Like
he used to do transfers.
Oh, how cool were they at the start?
Yeah,
and he wouldn't have ridden them, or he would have ridden them once or something. But they
just come out and just
those transfers were insane. Some of them were massive.
Yeah, they were.
And that's what's cool about that event as well, is that they have like a mix of like race. It's not just freestyle guys that do double flips and front flips and like circus tricks. It's like a mix of like, I don't know, I guess people, more bike skill people, aren't they? Because there's racers, there's Cole Seeley there, Ryan Sipes, there's...
And who else a really cool side of the sport, Josh Hill. Raha, Josh Hill, dude. Josh Hill on a bike is
he's
still
sick,
just...
isn't he? Yeah.
Axel Hodges as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like the new school of moto, which is really exciting to watch. And I guess the only sort of way we can compare it with mountain bike is Fest Series, really.
Yeah, I guess so.
We don't really have an event. Because it's got to be on a hillside, it would be almost like slopestyle, but with different
it's hard,
lanes,
isn't it?
like different options.
Yeah, that's it. It's quite a
We don't really
difficult
have
one
it, do we?
to categorise. Not really, no. It's like what they enjoy doing.
Audi 9s maybe was
maybe, but
similar.
then they're still like slopestyle, and then I don't know. We don't really have it. I don't think. I think it's super interesting. The thought of actually having it is wicked, but it would take a lot of work, and I don't know. I can't picture it on mountain.
I love
bikes,
that the talent of like someone like Ryan Sipes who can enter almost every discipline of moto and then tip up to something like that and hit everything and be stylish. It's just
he's modern
so
day
cool.
Malcolm, isn't he? Do you remember typical
He is modern
Malcolm?
day Malcolm. Yeah, he is. He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is modern day Malcolm. If anyone hasn't seen it, Red Bull Imaginate, it's really good. It's worth 25 minutes of your day.
Yeah,
and our boy Jace at Gypsy Tales just put out a full podcast with Tyler Berryman as well.
Oh, right.
So
I'll have to check that out.
not listened to it, but I'll definitely be checking that out. I think Jace is going to come on here soon at some point.
Wicked.
Trying to get Jace to come and hang out. I speak to him so much, but like we never really do podcasts together. We have like these epic 2-hour conversations about life and everything, but we never do podcasts together anymore, which is really, really weird. We become like, I don't know, it's weird. We used to talk loads, but we never actually sit and record it.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
So, yeah. So that's, and then my listening, I'm going to throw a curveball in here.
It's going to be country, isn't it? It's going to be country.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not country, actually. It's not country, man. Let me just make sure I get the name of it right. Okay. All right, where are we?
C6
okay.
Steve, is that what it's going to be?
No, mate, it's not actually. So this is old school, man. This is old school, but bear with me, folks, if you've never heard this song before. My listening this week, everybody, is Meatloaf. Yeah, Meatloaf.
Okay.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
And there we
which
go.
is off that really famous Bat Out of Hell album, and it's just a jam. It's a jam, dude.
Meatloaf.
It came on a playlist.
You're putting Meatloaf on the playlist.
I'm putting Meatloaf on the playlist today. I'm throwing it's been too serious. Let's lighten it up a little bit.
Meatloaf looks like a sea anemone. That's what I remember of him as a child.
He is. Yeah, he does. He does look like he's crawled out of something, doesn't he?
Yeah, doesn't he? He looks. Oh, is Meatloaf still knocking about? I wonder what he gets up to these days.
Dude. Of course he's knocking about.
Is he
Meatloaf,
though?
slinging dick all over the UK and doing gigs in Slough, Reading, Edinburgh.
You reckon, yeah. Meatloaf.
I don't know.
I wonder if he's got Instagram.
I bet he has, and I bet he kills it with the older generation
Meatloaf
too, man.
official fan page, 2,000 followers.
Wow.
It's not looking
Right,
good, dude. Is Meatloaf not big news anymore, or what? Where is Meatloaf now? Meatloaf 2021.
Maybe he uses his real name. I wonder what his real name actually is.
I mean, Meatloaf, dude. He does. He looks
Marvin Lee Adey. Meatloaf. Yeah. At Real Meatloaf on Instagram. Oh no, Twitter.
He's got Twitter, has he?
97,000 followers.
Right, if you just type in Meatloaf on Google, the first two suggested people also ask things are: does Meatloaf have Parkinson's? Did Meatloaf pass away?
You know, I don't get that. I get Meatloaf singer and then Meatloaf net worth. And if you were to guess Meatloaf's net worth, what would you say it is? In dollars.
It's got to be so much. He's in that golden era, right? I would have thought, like where people buy CDs, right, or probably tapes for Meatloaf. 20 million. I don't know.
$40 million.
40.
$40 million. Yeah.
Good
but
on
apparently, this article here says that he actually lost a load of his money. Filed for bankruptcy in the 80s.
Come on.
Oh, come on, Meatloaf.
Come on, Meatloaf.
Well,
you're not bankrupt, dude.
Nah, he'll be riding high after this podcast goes out anyway, and Bat Out of Hell gets another surge of sales and streams.
Christmas #1 or something.
Let's go. Meatloaf, bro. Bring it. Should we do some listener questions?
Yeah, let's do listener questions for any more suggestions.
Meatloaf, here we go. Mate, I'm sorry for doing that to everyone out there. But listen
joking.
to the song and you'll get it.
You'll
You'll catch the vibe. You'll catch the vibe. All right, here we go, folks. We did have some actual uploads to the uploader. Might do those next week. We'll do them next week.
Let's do them next week. Let's just stick with the questions.
Yeah. All right. At Dave Roberts 30. Getting your confidence back after a big stack? Question mark.
There we go. I guess we kind of cover it, don't we?
Yeah.
Just quite often.
Do it again.
In a way. Yeah, I'd do it again if you're not hurt. Then I'd just do it again. Like I do. Yeah, I don't really get scared of things like that in that way because I just think about what I did wrong. Like there's always quite lucky enough to.
You always say it's like a learning.
Yeah, work it out.
From
like,
it, right?
Like if you cased, you're going too slow. If you overshot, you're going too quick. Like that kind of thing. And I think also maybe a good thing is like when you're trying stuff and you're learning and you're new, just so in science you'd have like a control piece of data, wouldn't you? So you would say drop in from that line and no pedal. That would be your first attempt. You know what your first attempt included
was.
Yeah, you know what it was. You didn't just go in, fly in blind. So I'd say maybe that's a good thing for people like learning now and on the upwards curve of learning. When you're trying new things, just pay attention to like how you did things, just in case it does go wrong, because then you know what to do next. If you're going too slow, you can go quicker. So maybe that's a good.
That's nice. Ride more mindfully, you mean?
Basically, yeah. Just keep track of things. Yeah. Check yourself. What would you say?
Good answer, dude. I agree. Like, yeah, all that, and also just put it in the back of your mind as best as you can. Like, go at it again with a clear head.
Yeah.
And go ride the same stuff as you rode before, like Ollie just said. Or if you don't feel comfortable, just literally work on getting your confidence back up. Take a few weeks of just riding XC, get your bike handling back up to scratch. Maybe learn something that you couldn't do before just to get your confidence back up. Yeah. Even if it's something silly like a Switzerland squeaker or, I don't know, something silly that's just going to get your confidence back, and then go and ride it again.
As a kid, I would mimic everything. So I'd see Steve Pete hit a turn and I'd try and mimic exactly what he did. And that was how I kind of got better at stuff. So that might be, if you see a video yourself and you're bucking over the bars and stuff like that, just try and do the movement. I still do it to this day. I turn up at like Jimmy's Trails, for instance. You watch a local go through and you can see how they're pulling up different or going in slow or that kind of thing. So, yeah, maybe mimicking someone who's doing it right. I mean, everyone's just human, right? Like ultimately, if someone can do it, you can do it. So it's worth paying attention to the person.
Do you think there's something? I think there's something in that as well. Of like, if you watch like a ton of a certain rider, you get a bit of a confidence that I can ride a bit like that, and you maybe will try something you couldn't do before. Would you say that?
Yeah,
maybe I'm off on that.
For sure.
It's just me.
I
you just get hyped on it, You just like, if you watch people throwing whips when you go for a ride next, you're going to try and throw a load of whips. Like it's
but it's like how you throw a whip, isn't it? That's what I kind of think. Like you watch someone, you copy just one part of it, like how they carve or how they are in the air, how their leg is. I don't know. I think I'm quite weird. I still do it to this day. Still watch how people are in the air or what they do on a takeoff or in a turn.
Yeah, totally. Good question. Good answers. Yeah. At Damo462MTB, I think that says. Yeah, my eyes are too busy in the sun here. What other podcasts do you guys enjoy? Not MTB. Good question.
A good question, and one I'm often asked. Question.
Oh yeah. I don't get asked that often very often.
No, I've never been asked that. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I listen.
So, go on, mate. After you.
Jane
Give you top three.
Top three. I listen to Bad Friends at the moment, which is Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. I really enjoy that. Bad Friends. Nice. I don't listen to any mountain biking podcasts, if I'm honest. I've actually only listened to a couple of ours. I can't listen to myself, dude. I'd listen to you talking to someone else, but I can't listen to myself.
It's tough.
And then Fighter and the Kid. I like Fighter and the Kid.
Which is funny because, fun fact, that's kind of how we got our vibe for this. Really, we were like, oh, just try and do what they do.
Yeah,
a little bit different, but ultimately the same. Like we had a definite common ground, didn't we? In fighting the
definitely.
kid,
And in podcasts in general, I'd say.
Yeah, true. They're good. Yeah, good ones, dude, for sure. Sorry, I'm just thinking.
I listen to serious
I don't.
ones as well, but that's no fun, is it? I like comedians.
Nah.
That's really why I listen to podcasts. I listen to funny ones.
Totally. I'm going to go totally different then. I'll just go with, again, don't listen to any other mountain bike stuff at all, to be honest with you. I like to try and distance myself from all that as much as possible. I really like a podcast called Mikey Likes You with a guy called Mike Catherwood, who
cool.
is, he used to do the Kevin and Bean show. He's a health and fitness guy. Really good follow on Instagram, drops loads of knowledge about training, health, fitness and stuff. Kyle Kingsbury podcast. That's really good. Again, health and fitness. A little bit more spiritual. Go down those sort of lanes with it. Talking a lot about health, fitness, nutrition, that sort of thing. I think, yeah, dude, I listen to mostly health and fitness stuff. I'll be honest. The Model Health show.
Don't you? Do you listen to King and the Sting?
Yeah, I love King and the Sting. Again, a lot of inspiration from this show comes from King and the Sting. If no one's watched that before, King and the Sting on YouTube is hilarious. It's really funny. So yeah, I get a lot of inspiration from podcasts, but I'm always really mindful of it not coming from mountain bike podcasts. I don't want to be that guy that's just out there copying people. I draw inspiration from comedy and health and fitness, and a lot of it genuinely just comes out of my own head, which is really nice to know. So.
Perfect.
Good question.
Good question.
Great answers.
Good question.
All right, next question. We have at sideways_Sam. Is it better to try and get permission to make legit tracks for everyone, or illegal and keep them to yourself?
I always get permission from the landowner before building tracks, jumps, or anything like that. Davey?
I've always ridden
Bike parks.
legal trails.
Yeah. There you go.
Always.
And there you have it. What we got next, dude?
Listen to your heart, people. You know what's right.
Listen
you know
to
what's
that
right.
Meatloaf lyric. It fucking is, dude.
Listen to your heart.
You will find.
At Hughes_Kieran, what makes you smile more? Trail bikes or jump bike?
Oh, that's very difficult. I have to have both on any given day, dude. So I'm the wrong person to
mate.
ask.
All right, Malcolm.
What did I do yesterday? Rode my trail
What
bike,
did you do
rode my
yesterday?
jump bike, and that's really what I aim to do. Jump bikes make me feel like I'm good at biking. Trail bikes make me feel wholesome and.
Would you like
speedy.
to have an indoor set of dirt jumps? I feel like you need that down there where
I'd
you
love
guys
an
are.
indoor set of dirt jumps. Yeah.
Not just where you guys are, in the UK.
Yeah, it would be good, wouldn't it? I mean, yeah, it
Mm.
would be good, but then you'd have to share them, wouldn't you? And I don't know anyone rich enough to have indoor dirt jumps, and I like being in the woods as well.
True.
But yeah, I would love that. Obviously, yeah, that'd be the dream, wouldn't it? You've kind of got it up your way, haven't you? I nearly hit my head on the roof at that place. It scared the shit out of me. I was there on my own. What's it called? Is it in Liverpool?
Oh, Dirt Factory.
Dirt Factory, that's it.
Yeah, it's gone now. Manchester.
That's it, Manchester. It's gone.
Yeah, it's only a temporary thing. They only had a temporary lease.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, it's done. But they are apparently start doing it again. But those guys are now based at Farmer John's. They've just got a shop.
Got you. Cool.
And they're looking for new premises and stuff.
That'd be cool. We need some indoor dirt jumps. And we need ski lifts.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. At Lewis Reese 13, 5 riders you'd like to make a mountain bike film with, and why?
That's good. Let's do 5 between us.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do 5 between us.
So I'm going to go
first.
Cade. Just Cade's solid. He gets me super excited from the young guns in the game. He's very exciting.
Nice. I'll go Brendan Fairclough.
Nice. I couldn't.
Just cuss.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
You get on with him.
The dog provides, doesn't he? Okay, I'm going to go
The dog
Brage
provides.
because I think, again, he gets me excited, gets me pumped.
Nice. Okay, I like that. Josh Bryceland.
Nice.
Just
get
because.
Josh back amongst it. Yeah, dude.
Get Josh back amongst it, man. Get him off that farm. Let's get him out on the bike.
Josh's farm. Yeah, let's get him out on the bike. All right, yeah, that's solid. And then
the last one.
Is this the last one? Who better to have than Jimmy Pratt? Jimmy Pratt's like no other.
What a crew.
Maybe a name that people in the podcast don't know, but yeah, Jimmy Pratt, dude. No one rides like Jimmy Pratt. I'd love to have him in the edit.
Nice. Love it. Which best describes you? The Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion, Dorothy, or Toto?
Shit, I don't even fucking...
I don't know their characteristics.
No, I don't know their characteristics. I feel like I'm going to get drawn in. I'm going to say the Lion, and it's going to turn out the Lion was a namby-pamby.
It's paedophile.
Yeah. Oh, man, exactly, yeah. And then I'm going to... Oh, yeah, maybe... I'm just going to go with Dorothy because there's no place like home, dude. Oh!
I'll go Toto just because it's a dog's life. Just hang out.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I love the idea that the Lion turned out a paedophile after The Wizard of Oz came out and he got put in jail. He went through his home computer. He got dragged out of his house in handcuffs.
Wow. This is a really weird question, but I kind of like it, so let's see what happens. At Handley, what would be in the mountain bike garden at Chelsea Flower Show? It's a great question.
It's a great question.
You know, I feel like I feel like we'd go for dirt jumps often have like a bit of a hangout, some sort of like bar, sort of like thing. Clubhouse.
Yep.
Maybe a fire pit.
Dude, I've got to say, I just mentioned his name before, but Jimmy Pratt's trails. He's got ponds. They plant plants alongside the trails. They call it trailscaping. They have hedgerows. They have picket fences. They even have a flint wall with Jimmy's trails in it. So
that would be cool, man.
He quite literally has a Chelsea Garden Show set of jumps.
That would be good if someone could. I think that'd be good marketing to do a Chelsea Flower Show dirt jump.
It would be cool, wouldn't it? It would, yeah. Everyone loves cycling
just
now, don't they?
Beautifully manscaped, like just perfect pristine dirt jump.
Do you know what you said then?
Just one dirt jump.
Do you know what you said then? You said beautifully manscaped.
I know, it's subliminal messaging for our listeners.
Oh, you're good, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
At J.K. Delves, favourite biscuit?
Lotus. Biscoff Lotus, yeah.
The free biscuit, is that why you like it? Because it's always free.
I really like that, and then all like the I really like the smoothies that flavour and the brownies and stuff. They're really nice. Yeah, Biscoff. Yeah. I'm gonna go Biscoff. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go coconut crumble. I like coconut crumble.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Might be northern, but I like coconut crumble.
There you go. Quite cultured answers there.
Thank you. Very. At Brock Sanderman, was the fuel shortage actually caused by O-Dub's G-Wagon?
Dude. The G-Wagon's parked outside with no fuel in, and I can't get any anywhere. Matt, I gotta say,
it's tough, isn't it?
It is real. It is real, though, isn't it? How annoying is that?
It's real.
When you see queues of people.
What's annoying, right? This is from our side up here, from what Emma and I experienced at the weekend.
Yeah.
Is most people probably don't need the fuel, right?
Yeah.
But the media says there's a shortage, so everyone.
100%, dude. 100%.
I'll go out and even these people, right, who drive the kid to school in the morning in the Land Rover Discovery or whatever they have, the big disco, they've probably got half a tank of fuel in. They go to the petrol station, they put another half in and fill it up. And then people like Emma, my girlfriend, who actually does have no fuel, can't get any because all the greedy mums, the MILFs, have taken it all.
I know, dude. I know.
Pisses me off, bro.
Okay,
it's
this
been
is
a
the one
shit show.
I think it's good to try and think from the other way around always with things, rather than just thinking everyone is a cretin. Sure, there are a lot of cretins. So, I was driving past a petrol station. There was a massive queue, so I could have got fuel then. When I was doing it, I thought about getting in the queue, and then I always put £30 in my tank. Because I want to try and make the explosion smaller. That was my...
Yeah.
So...
Well, Emma's is always that it might break down tomorrow, so there's no point putting any fuel in.
So I always put 30 in. If I sat in a queue, 100% it would have gone through my head that maybe I'll put 60 in today. and that's the fuel shortage. So I think that's a better way to think about it than just everyone's going out there and they've got. Do you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. But again, it's just hysteria. It's just the media.
Yeah, but you would have been drawn into that as well, wouldn't you? If you wouldn't have put 30 in if you had gotten that queue.
No,
right?
I agree.
So that's what it is.
I think so.
I would have made myself put 30 in after I recognised what I was doing, but that's what I kind of feel like.
Again, it's a culture problem too, right?
Yeah.
It's this like, all for one and one for one attitude that we have in the UK, where everyone's like, fuck everyone else. I want fuel. I don't care if I drain this, this big tanker out. I want it in my car just in case I have to go to Tesco.
Yeah, it is difficult, isn't it? But I try and think of ways that make me not think that everyone is cretinous.
Yeah, and again, I think unless you've got a lot of driving to do, obviously, it's an opportunity. And I said that the other day. I was like, okay, if the mums and the dads or whatever out there are filling the car up so they can take the kids to school. If they're going to school anyway, you're probably in a catchment area, which means you don't have to go that far. Walk to school.
Maybe, yeah.
You might enjoy it more. Like, it might be nicer.
Well.
You don't. And again, Emma's worked in I keep using Emma's name, but like she's worked in a school before.
Yeah.
And all the teachers, they all drive in, but they live like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
And it's like just walking.
I hear you.
I don't know.
You.
Anyway. Okay. Best. Okay. There's a lot of questions about a G-Wagon and fuel.
Is there? Yeah, the G-Wagon's just
Benjamin...
parked up outside. I'm not on reserve yet, but I'm just sat. I'm
not worth the risk.
I'm not going anywhere. Oh, it's such a pain in the arse as well, isn't it? And with an old diesel, you'd have to bleed them.
Yeah, so you don't want to go flat. You don't want to go out.
Yeah. They're all just G-Wag fuel related, are they?
Yeah, there is a lot. Olly's opinion on Wisley dirt jumps.
Some of the best in the world. The dream. What's the opinion about? Apparently they're building a road through them at some point, or there's plans in the future, because we have more and more humans going around the M25. And they want to build like a slip road through them, which would be a great shame. I have some of the best memories of riding trails when I was younger up Wisley. Yeah, they're some of the best, and they've got killer locals, and that's my opinion on Wisley trails.
I like it. Last one.
Yes.
Let's do one more, and then we'll wrap this biatch up.
Let's.
At Bloke Boys.
Yeah,
the meme makers.
They do some killer memes, yeah.
Heads up to Bloke Boys. Yeah. Appreciate you for what you do, turning us into memes. They've just launched a merch store too.
Oh, brilliant.
So if anyone wants to get some merch,
please
head over. Best YouTubers for teaching how to build trails and jumps. You see, you thought they were coming in with a trick question, didn't you? You thought they were coming in with something silly.
I did, yeah.
I know, but you actually submitted a real one.
I actually don't know. I'm aware that there are ones.
Matt Jones, pretty good for the pump track
Oh, yeah,
build.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That was okay.
That's
good.
Matt's got building stuff on there, hasn't he? Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually unaware.
You could do with some views as well, folks, so maybe head over and give him a view.
I'm not... Do you know what, Bloke Boys? I'm going to do you a solid here. I'm not going to advise anything because I simply don't know. Because, honestly, I haven't watched any. And probably I'm bad at it. But I do it. So
well, maybe it needs to be you.
Maybe it should be me. Probably not, but maybe it should be me. I think the unfortunate thing about it is it's like... it just takes so long. And I think most people are going to be like, fuck this, I'm not doing that many wheelbarrows. But maybe not, who knows?
You get a fridge instead.
Yeah.
I think that's it, folks.
Brilliant. What an episode. I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
That was enjoyable. We did some serious stuff. The episode's called The
Serious
episode.
Serious
episode.
And do you know what else? I'm going to end episode 13 on. I need to go for a piss because I am busting. I've been shaking around for the last 20 minutes.
Jeez, nothing worse, man.
Dude, podcasting makes you need a piss, huh?
Yeah, say goodbye to the fam and I'll wrap it up.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. You're the best. Catch you next week.
And just to mirror what he said, folks, thank you everyone for listening. It's been emotional. Have a great rest of your week. If you haven't already seen, we're just doing a launch a new feature as well, which I forgot to mention, which is we're going to start doing a coffee morning every Wednesday, 8:30 to 9 a.m. Have a discussion, have a chat. We'll come up with some features and some topics. So please join in. Instagram Live at the HKT Podcast. We're going to do coffee morning, 8:30, 9 a.m. UK time, GMT, obviously. And it's going to be sponsored by Foundation Roasters. It's been emotional. Peace. 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 Hard to look at that. Peace.